For 12 years, McDonald's told America that anyone could win $1 million. Buy a meal, peel a game piece, and your whole life could change. It was a lie, because nearly every $1 million prize, every car, every jackpot was quietly stolen before it ever reached a single honest customer. And the man stealing them wasn't a hacker or a mobster. He was the head of security at the company McDonald's hired to run the game. His name was Jerome Jacobson. They called him Uncle Jerry, and this is how a former cop rigged the most famous game in America and funneled more than $24 million to a secret network of fake winners. To understand the crime, you first have to understand the game. In 1987, McDonald's launched Monopoly, and the pitch was irresistible. Every meal came with a game piece peeled from the packaging, and matching the right ones could win you anything from free fries to a new car to $1 million in cash. Sales exploded. Millions of Americans started buying more fries, more Big Macs, more Cokes. Not because they were hungry, but because they wanted to win. The dream had become the product. But McDonald's didn't run the game itself. They hired an outside firm called Simon Marketing to print the pieces, protect the rare winners, and hand out the big prizes. And Simon Marketing put one man in charge of security for those pieces, a former Florida police officer named Jerome Jacobson. Meticulous, trusted, and paid specifically to make sure no one could ever rig the game. He was the fox McDonald's had hired to guard the henhouse. And around 1989, the fox got hungry. Here's the flaw that made everything possible. The winning pieces were sealed in tamper-proof envelopes, and Jacobson's job was to personally move them, watched the entire time by an independent auditor, so he could never open one alone. But the company that supplied those anti-tamper seals made a catastrophic mistake. They shipped a batch of the seals directly to Jacobson. Suddenly, the man guarding the pieces could open a tamper-proof envelope and reseal it as if nothing had happened. There was still the auditor watching him. So Jacobson found the one place she couldn't follow, an airport men's room. He'd carry the envelopes through the terminal, duck into a bathroom stall, peel the seal, swap the $1 million piece for a worthless one, reseal it, and walk out. No alarms, no questions. The first piece he stole in 1989, he handed to his stepbrother, Marvin Braun, a $25,000 winner. McDonald's paid out, and no one suspected the man they'd hired to stop exactly this. So he did it again. But Jacobson couldn't cash the pieces himself. He needed strangers who could pose as lucky winners and kick back a cut. At first, it was friends and family. Then around 1995, in an airport in Atlanta, he met a man named Gennaro Colombo, Jerry Colombo, who claimed ties to the Colombo crime family. Colombo became his top recruiter, and the operation exploded into a national network. Now winners paid to win, roughly $50,000 down, around $100,000 in total, for a piece worth $1 million. Some mortgaged their homes to buy in. The web of fake winners stretched across the country. Ex-convicts, strip club owners, psychics, and ordinary families buried in debt. What began as a security guard pocketing a game piece had become a nationwide criminal conspiracy, and McDonald's still had no idea. Think about what this meant for everyone else. For years, if you were an honest customer peeling a game piece, dreaming of that $1 million, you had no chance. None. The piece was already gone before it ever reached you. And still, the commercials kept promising that anyone could win, while families spent money they didn't have chasing a jackpot that was, for them, mathematically impossible. Some of the fake winners couldn't live with it. A single mother named Gloria Brown paid $40,000 for a $1 million ticket and later described the agony of lying on camera about a moment that never happened, trapped between losing everything she'd paid and sinking deeper into a crime. And then there's the strangest twist of all. In 1995, someone anonymously mailed a stolen $1 million winning piece to St. Jude Children's Hospital. Under the rules, transferred pieces weren't valid, but McDonald's, not knowing it was stolen, honored it anyway and paid the Children's Hospital $1 million. The only genuinely good thing to come out of the entire scheme was funded by a stolen ticket. Over its life, the network fraudulently claimed more than $24 million in prizes. Nearly every beaming winner McDonald's put in its commercials was a fraud, a paid stranger in a rigged game, broadcast to the whole country as proof that dreams come true. And it might have gone on forever, until a single anonymous phone call brought it all down. Around the year 2000, the FBI's field office in Jacksonville, Florida, got a tip. McDonald's monopoly was rigged, and it all traced back to a man called Uncle Jerry. The tip nearly died as a sticky note on a senior agent's desk that just read, "McDonald's monopoly fraud," until a young, restless agent named Doug Matthews picked it up and turned it into one of the most creative stings in FBI history. They called it Operation Final Answer, a jab at McDonald's, who wants to be a millionaire game pieces. First, the FBI quietly got McDonald's to cooperate. Then Matthews had his idea. To catch the fake winners, the FBI would pose as a McDonald's film crew, pretending to shoot a commercial celebrating the lucky millionaires. Agents showed up with cameras, alongside a real McDonald's marketing executive, playing along on set, and asked each winner to describe, in detail, how they'd won. The winners thought they were making a feel-good ad. They were actually recording their own confessions. Wiretaps did the rest. Agents tracked tens of thousands of phone numbers and captured hundreds of recordings as the network arranged deals and named the man at the center of it all. On August 21, 2001, the FBI made its first arrests, 8 people, including Jacobson. By the time it was over, 53 people had been indicted, and 48 pleaded guilty. The most famous game in America had been exposed as a 12-year fraud. Then, incredibly, the story almost vanished. Jacobson's trial opened in early September 2001, and the very next morning, September 11th, the attacks pushed every other story off the front page. Most Americans never even learned how badly they'd been played. It stayed half forgotten for nearly 2 decades, until a 2018 investigation and an HBO series finally told the whole thing. McDonald's, legally a victim and deeply embarrassed, moved fast. It cut ties with Simon Marketing the day of the arrests, shut the game down, and rushed out a brand new $10 million giveaway, this time drawn completely at random, just to prove the games were real and win back the public's trust. Simon Marketing, having lost McDonald's and its other biggest client, collapsed, and Jerry Jacobson was sentenced to 37 months in prison and ordered to repay $12.5 million. A little over 3 years, for 12 years of fraud and a lie told to millions of people. It wasn't a hacker who broke McDonald's. It wasn't a criminal mastermind or a mob boss. It was the insider, the trusted one, the man whose entire job was to guard against the crime, committing it himself in the handful of seconds when no one was watching. The most dangerous thief is almost never the stranger breaking in. It's the one you handed the keys to. This was file number 1. If you want to see which trusted American empire we open next, subscribe, because every empire leaves a file.